going to want to make you tune in.
Ruben!
Yes.
You're on.
All right, thank you. That's our producer, Hobby. Shout out to her. So Quinn Bishop joining me here, Cactus Music. So we're going to talk about everything new, just released, all the hot stuff that you have in your hand.
Okay, cool.
Without further ado.
Okay, so Fridays is when all the new releases drop.
Right.
It's when all the physical product comes out. I know a lot of people listen to music digitally, which is super cool.
That's right.
As well.
But they're missing out.
Well, if they have that bookshelf mentality and they love owning stuff, this is the way to do it. So this Friday, coming out, we have a big new record by Houston band Water Parks.
Oh,
They're
cool.
from, I think, the Woodlands.
I will hold that a little closer. Look at that.
They played the store many times. This is the Indie Store exclusive vinyl. Super cool guys, and they've done really, really well around the country and big in the UK, and we're proud that they're from our backyard.
And the first time that I heard about these guys, the funny thing is that Quinn was like, "Have you heard these guys?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You need to hear these guys." And is the album actually called Greatest Hits?
It's a new album, but it's called Greatest Hits.
Look at the track listing there. Is it a double?
I believe so.
Gosh, isn't it awesome that we're talking about vinyl? Doesn't that just make you happy?
They've
got like the matching tracksuits, or just.
They're remarkably stylish.
I mean, the attention to detail, guys. So Water Parks got a Houston, Texas connection, obviously.
I think they're from the Woodlands.
From the Woodlands. We're going to count that as as our viewing area. We're going to count those guys as our own. You said they performed live in the store.
Yeah, multiple times.
So for folks that don't know, and maybe you're not in this area, but if you are in this area, they put up a little stage here in the background. And pre-pandemic, was it Sundays?
And going to be post-pandemic.
And
too.
Post-pandemic, okay.
And it depends on the day of the week, and it just whenever touring artists are available to us, you can witness a intimate, usually acoustic performance here in the store and discover your favorite new band.
And sometimes there's beer.
That is, I can either confirm or deny.
Okay, no, I'm not going to go any further than that. All right, so Water Parks Greatest Hits. Look for this one. Come get it down here at Cactus. Colored vinyl.
3 different colors.
3 different. Yeah. For God's sakes, man, these kids today. All right, what's next? What do you got? What's hot?
Lord Huron. They are
nice.
An Americana-leaning group. Very cool band. Very kind of chill, but acoustic-based band. That is their much-anticipated new album. It's been a little while for them. It's called Lost Horizon.
Love the artwork. Let you get everybody.
I'm sorry, it's called Long Lost.
Long Lost. I love this. How many albums now? Because it looks like a lot of them back here for Lord Huron.
This may be number 5.
That is pretty cool.
I should have done my homework.
So during the pandemic, once you got, I know you guys did a lot of online, and you had, the website and just, getting stuff out to people. Once you were able to have people back in the store, what's the response from the customers been like?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, people have been very supportive, and I think they have been of independent businesses in general. I will say that with regards to music stores, we're seeing a lot of the entertainment dollars that people can't spend on concert tickets and at the merch table and things like that, which, last week and this week, there were just tons of shows announced. So we'll see if that holds up, but it was an opportunity for us to galvanize our importance with our core Houston clientele.
And I know you guys stock 1 or 2 people buying turntables.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Sell a lot of turntables.
I love that. All right, Lord Huron, Long Lost, number 2 pick on the stuff you should be listening to here out of the new music.
And Ruben, I'm throwing this in, Blast from the Past, best of the Violent Femmes' first time on vinyl.
Man, first time on vinyl?
Yeah, can you believe it?
Wow. And of course, so here's how old I am. So the only time I've ever seen them was at the first Lollapalooza, which I think was Dallas. And I knew one song, right?
Uh-huh.
And the crowd went absolutely nuts when these guys came on. And I was amazed how many people knew like every word to just about every song.
That first record is an essential, and the sing-along that happens at their shows is crazy.
And there's a bunch of tracks on here.
Yeah, it was originally...
Double album?
Yes, because CDs were generally about 75 or 80 minutes long, so to make all the content fit, it has to be on 2 LPs.
I love that.
Yeah, they even added some live tracks at the. So you got, Add It Up, Kiss Off, some of their best known tunes. You got live versions at the end of the record too.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
This is already going to hurt my wallet, people. I'm just letting you know. What else is happening here?
John Hyatt, singer-songwriter, one of the greatest living songwriters. His new record is on New West Records, as many of his previous ones have been. But he collaborated with Jerry Douglas, who's a Grammy-winning bluegrass guy. He produced it. And it's fantastic. Every time that guy, he's always got a great bag of songs whenever he shows up to make a record.
That is fantastic. So normally now, you'd mentioned that Friday's really kind of drop day.
Yes.
And by the time you guys are getting it in the stores and everything like that, more or less or about the same music being released pre-pandemic. I mean,
no, it's we were just talking about today. It's really soft. Like Universal Music Group, which is the largest music distributor in the world. I happened to by accident open the file for. In looking for this July's new release, I accidentally opened a file from 2 years ago, and it's about 4 times the size of what's coming out in July. So there's still a lag time here. I think people are really trying to. So many artists, they really. Rely upon performing live to drive sales of their records. So they're, especially like, metal artists are more
prolific.
Prolific. There's just people that buy the record because they're going to go to the show.
Oh, right.
So
fans.
So because of that, I think you're seeing this lag, and also a lot of people. You're seeing a lot of these shutdown records that are coming out that are basically homemade records. Not everybody can do that. If you're in a big, heavy rock band, it's hard to do that. Or if you're an artist that does a big production on your record, it's difficult to do that too. So I think it's going to be a logjam as we roll into 2022.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I had heard that the people, or the few places that do actually are currently still pressing vinyl, there's a wait to just get your album pressed because so many people trying to get that done.
Here's a new fact that was astounding to me that I just learned last week. The estimated demand for vinyl in 2021 is 300 million units. The capacity for pressing vinyl is 165 million. So they can only make about half of what people want.
Yeah.
So it's very new
less
release
than
driven.
a half. Yeah.
So it's very new release driven in the effort to fulfill their obligations to artists and managers and put out new product. That might be the reason when you go to your favorite record shop, well, you can't find a classic that is in print available. There's just no inventory. We were running into that a lot, and I think it's going to be more prevalent as the year takes on.
Yeah, and then you got the whole supply chain issue.
Yeah.
What else? You got something hot in your hand there?
My Bloody Valentine, the reissue of their last record, which has been out of print for years and years and years.
Look at that.
Great record, great droney.
Kevin Shields,
Gazy,
the master.
Yeah, Loveless is their great record, but this one is astoundingly good as well.
Very blue.
It's very blue.
Incredibly blue.
Yeah.
This is their blue.
Don't look at
this
it
is their
too
blue
long.
period. Yeah, don't look at it too long. Fully analog cut. Look at that. My Bloody Valentines. That's great.
That's a big
stuff.
deal. You don't want to make records from digital files.
Yeah, and this is one of those bands so influential that maybe a younger audience that loves a particular kind of act right now and doesn't realize how much of this band is in that band.
Right, absolutely. And what there's those records that maybe didn't sell huge units back in the day, but were so influential. There were no records that sounded like Loveless before it came out.
Yeah.
And then there sure were a lot of them that sounded like it afterwards, and still to this day.
Yeah.
And you can hear that in Houston. There's Houston bands like El Lago.
Yeah.
Like Velvet Echo. You hear that in these young bands, which is super cool.
And a little nerdy fact for guitar players: before Kevin Shields, Sonic Youth, and even Dinosaur Jr. really became well known, you could get a Fender Jazzmaster for nothing.
Right. Nobody wanted
for dirt.
Yeah.
For and then it was like everybody had to have one.
And also, when you heard that record, you went, "I don't have enough guitar
Right.
I need more effects.
More layers, more delay.
Yeah.
More delay. I love it. All right, what else you got in there?
I saved probably the most noteworthy for last. Houston band Krungbin.
Krungbin.
People love them. They have done a exclusive 12-inch that has come out every Friday for the last 3 Fridays.
Really?
Yeah, and they've kind of timed it to where there's only a couple per store, but us being a hometown record store, and again, they performed in the store on numerous occasions.
Band.
Yeah, they're just longtime favorite. That was their best their last album was our best-selling album the last 2 years.
And Mark used to work across the street at Rock and Robin.
So
a lot of history here, by the way.
And this will be sold out on Friday. It's gonna be gone no more.
So what you're telling me is I can't buy this today.
Are you guys telling me I can't get that today?
What's up?
I can't get that album today?
No, producer Javi cannot have this out. But what time do you open tomorrow?
10 a.m.
What time can Javi get in line?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah, don't get here too early because there's a lot of construction and it's
no special treatment. Okay.
So Krungbin, for you guys that don't know, very serious Houston roots and tentacles all over the place.
Right.
And these guys were just one of those bands that just have their own thing.
Right. So it's very
so
rooted
cool.
in so much ethnic music from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's very chilly. It's very groovy. There's classic rock. There's soul. There's even a little bit of hip. I mean, it defies description.
Yeah.
But it all kind of falls under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Very chill, cool, fun party music. I mean, you go see them live. It is a party.
People describe, people like to, especially these days, everything is vibey. Oh, that's vibey. Yeah. These guys are vibey.
It's all vibe.
Not a lot of vocals, so don't pick it up and look for the lyrics or anything like that. But I mean, you can just put this on in just about any occasion in your house, and it's the right pick. Yeah. I did an interview with them, and you guys may have seen it on. We ran it on Fox 26, and we put it up on digital as well. Actually, Javi, our producer, shot and edited it, so shout out to her. I got an interview with them before they went on stage. Right before their show at White Oak Music Hall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Leon Bridges showed up.
I saw that. That was a great show.
That was
actually one of I think the coolest shows in Houston in recent memory. It was really something.
And it was right before the world ended.
Yeah.
Or pretty close.
Shut down.
Pretty close to how that happened. All right, I have a question. And if we eventually we're going to get questions. Is that a question? Oh my God.
Oh, good luck reading.
Irene says, can you ask if they have Submarine? It's a soundtrack by Alex Turner. Maybe.
Not off the top of my head.
Not off the top of my head.
We would be happy to get back with you.
Okay. So just letting you know, we're looking for it. So what's happening with cassettes?
Cassettes are backed by somewhat popular demand. What is driving it is younger people inheriting their parents' or grandparents' cars that are outfitted with cassette players. So
really,
yeah. Well, that's kind of what started. But I'll tell you, the appeal. You're seeing a lot of independent artists and young musicians releasing their music on cassette, and the reason is because to make an LP is very difficult, and to make a CD, we still sell, tons of CDs, it's the dominant format for us. But where most bands want to make a vinyl record, that takes minimum 8 weeks, 12 weeks to make a record. You get the master, you have to prove it. You get the test pressing, you have to approve it. It takes a long time to manufacture it. With cassettes, you can send a file to any one of the cassette manufacturers. You can have your cassettes back in 3 days, and you can start selling them immediately. So there's an immediacy of being able to make your music available to fans if you're playing regularly. And I think that holds a lot of charm for it, and it's it's kooky.
It's definitely kooky. My wife thought it'd be kind of funny, so she got me this. It's like a little mini jam box, right? But and it it's got whatever little AM FM little dealy. The thing flips up and it's got the CD player. It's got a cassette player.
Heck yeah!
Because I've got boxes of cassettes. So I'm excited, right?
Yeah.
I get this thing and I plug it in. I drop the first cassette in it, and the cassette's going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that cassette was exposed to the sun or something. I put 10 more in, they all sounded exactly the same. So I don't think it's the highest quality cassette player.
Well, it could be too. We live in Houston, Texas, and humidity and heat are not the friend of the cassette.
Don't blame the player.
Don't
Don't blame the player. Blame the cassette. Record Store Day. For folks who aren't familiar, or folks are familiar, do we have another one coming up? Did we just miss one?
No, it's coming up in June. I believe it's June 12th. And then there's one in July as well. And what they've done is they've split it to try to kind of make it to where everyone doesn't show up at once.
Right.
By
Tell everybody what it is, though,
So
in case they're not familiar.
Record Store Day is the international celebration of record stores and record store culture. I think we're at this is number 12. I could be wrong.
I've covered a couple of them.
Yeah, and really, all over the world, people descend upon record store days for an experience, and traditionally for us, it's about having. I can remember on one occasion, we had Mandolin Orange, which is a celebrated award-winning bluegrass band, on this stage. We had a signing with Bun B going on in the other room.
Right.
We've got, and then there's a huge line for the exclusive releases, which pulls people from all over. There's a bunch of limited releases, like 200 for each date this year.
And that's it.
And it sells. They generally sell it on that date. Some are made available later, but really, there's a lot of that are coveted that are gone that morning. And then we had a line for St. Arnold Beverages, which is we're partners.
I got that Ramones live. Was it live at the Roxy? No.
I can't remember which venue, but they've done a couple of those.
And well, actually, I didn't buy it. My wife came back because she works across the street and picked it up, and I got it for Christmas. I'm like, what is this? And then a buddy of mine's huge. Oh, wait, question. Hang on. From Taylor, do you have any recommendations for international sounds, maybe world music? I think other than Houston's own Crun Bin, we can probably get you in some kind of a mood or some kind of a flavor. I read an article on all the kind of guitar-based bands coming out of Africa right now.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Kind of like Senegal and, just almost in that Quran Bin hemisphere.
That music will make you feel like that it really is a small world. It's funny. So what I was going to say is Oliver Couture, who's one of the most famous North African guitar players, his catalog just came available, and we're actually sourcing it from Europe. But when you hear him, the bond between him and John Lee Hooker is remarkable. And they, there's no wherewithal of each other.
That's a short bridge to cross.
Yeah. It's magic.
So a cat that I've been listening to, and I've spent so much time, especially lockdown, pandemic, whatever. It's just me sitting in my little / music room, junk room, where my wife piles up a ton of stuff, and just hours and hours and hours of just YouTube rabbit holeness. So I found it on an NPR Tiny Desk, right? Yeah. And it was Diego El Cialaga. He's a Basco, from the Basque region. Yeah. And he's like this long black hair, and like lots of rings and stuff, and this crazy beard, and he plays with this pianist and stuff, and it sounds all right. He's got some songs that are a cross between Nick Cave and the Gypsy Kings.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah, so it's dark, but it's like very painful, very romantic, and very, but his voice is just,
And shout out to Tiny Desk Concert. It's just enough in length to like cooking. If you really like it, it's like, again, sets the hook, and you just want to go hear more.
I've watched that first Sturgill Simpson one 10 times in the past 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. I've seen it before, but for whatever reason, that's the go-to, sitting there, having a glass of wine or something.
And they're having that Tiny Desk contest right now, where you can, as an unsigned band, an unsigned artist, you can send in an entry to be featured on the show.
Oh, that's super cool.
Even if you don't win, they still play those artists. You're on their radar.
Yeah, that's amazing.
A lot of great stuff can come from that.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Of course, the Lizzo one brought so many people in that would have never, ever have watched a Tiny Desk concert. There's a really cool thing on YouTube if you're interested. Okay, sorry, I got to get close. Todd Higginbottom. Hey, Ruben. do you guys have any recommendations for starter record players? I guess we're talking turntables here.
Kind of what has become the standard is the Audio Technica 120. Those are pretty reliable. Again, you have to buy above a certain price range to buy something that's going to last. But
Audio Technica 120.
Yeah, I mean, they have been making turntables for
the dawn of time.
Sure. At least a good 50, 70 years, and they still make all the needles. So that is probably the easiest to find. Reliable turntable. There's some brands that I would avoid any of the portables with the really short tone arms because they're just not. They're made to work. The most affordable audiophile turntable is a U-turn turntable, U-turn. They're a great company. We sell them. They're our choice for audiophile turntables.
Where are you going to start price wise for one of those?
That's going to start you around $300 for the turntable.
Yeah.
You can buy a preamp if you don't want to have a receiver. A lot of people have receivers, and people already have speakers in a lot of cases. So if you have to,
you can make it work. You can make it work. That's a good question, and that's an excellent answer. We were talking about something before the question. Oh, tiny desk. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. I haven't seen one of them that's been like, oh, I'm not watching this.
You figure it out real quick whether you like it or not, right?
But there's a really good, it's kind of like behind the scenes at Tiny Desk or whatever, and it's the guy that works there that actually mics everything. Because they do it with very few microphones.
Right.
This is not a studio performance. It's not a live concert.
You got to be good to play on this.
Yeah, man. And it's like it might be 2 overhead mics. That might be the whole thing. Anderson packed an amazing set. Like jaw-dropping, and they're literally in the offices of NPR, just kind of tucked in this corner.
Yeah. And
like the staff and a couple of people lucky enough to be there, kind of like.
I always think about the guys that are like working before they have to do that. It's like, hey, take all your crap you're working. Just get out of
yeah. Reminder people, clean your desk today. We're filming. So many, and you guys have done incredible performances here.
We really have.
And what does it cost to see a show here at Cactus Music?
It is free.
Free. How about that? Free. Irene has another question. Do you guys have Alexandria Savior finals? I don't know. What is that? Is Alexandria an artist? Is that a band?
I'm not certain. Is there a way for when we're done with this, you can send me all the...
We'll post something. We'll
get it figured out.
We'll post something in the end to get you guys kind of like... knowing. And when we do this again, just so you guys know, we're going to have a separate camera set up so we can actually put the record down and you guys can get a longer look at it. We'll have an A roll and a B roll.
Okay.
That's like
that's know that term.
Well, that was going to be this, but that whatever, we just had to like make it happen.
B-rolled.
Yeah, we're going to get B rolled, and I need to know from you though where the green room will be for hair and makeup. So when I get here early, so if you can just have that set up next time. What other items did I want to cover with you? I had a list and I didn't bring my notebook, of course. And this is actually, that's a receipt from Kroger. All right, so we'll keep going here for a few more minutes to see if we get any more questions, any more
I have a personal question for you, Ruben.
Personal question. Please ask it now.
So what's the favorite album of yours?
Are you asking Quinn or are you asking me?
I'm asking you, but then I want Quinn's answer as well.
Jeez. Okay. Desert Island or, trip, spaceship to Mars or something. That's going to be really tough. It's going to go, you know what? Do greatest hits records count?
Sure, why not?
Let's get the criteria right here. You know what? I am going to go, and hopefully we'll still be friends after this answer. I am going to go, because I've loved it since I was a little kid. Since the first time I heard it. It's Physical Graffiti, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I know this about you. I know that's like one of your like jump off point favorite guitar records ever. Me too. We've discussed this. Yeah.
Now you have to. So right now they're like, come on, man.
Well, this week, so I do this in a Zoom call once a week with my friends that I've known for 30 years. We've sold records together. We pick a record to discover each week, and we discuss it over a Zoom call.
Right.
We've been doing it since COVID situation started, and this week is this record, Joy of a Toy by Kevin Ayers, who was an early member of Pink Floyd, and he was involved with Soft Machine, and all these crazy prog, and it's just a crazy cool record if you like early Pink Floyd. It's right in there, and that's hit me.
What's it called?
Joy of a Toy.
Joy of a Toy.
By Kevin Ayers.
By Kevin Ayers. Look for that one. Mel Gutierrez is asking, he's putting in a plug for a local band. He's asking you to have Shame on Me come to Cactus and do a set. I actually saw them open for the Flaming Hellcats at Continental a couple of weeks ago. Kind of a dark rockabilly, but a lot of fun.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Good. The gal that slaps the upright bass is the kind of the front person.
Bass.
Yeah, kind of the front person. But all around, yeah, entertaining band, man. I was a couple of Lone Stars in at that point, so I don't know that it's incredibly accurate, my assessment, but I know I enjoyed it. So
you got to go with your gut on that.
Yeah.
I will say, nothing but respect for the upright bass, because that is a real commitment to your
and I can fake it on an electric bass. A friend of mine has an upright, and the
notes are all bad.
Yeah, no, it sounds like I'm hitting a garbage bag with a tennis racket.
Well, hit me up. We're looking at potentially restarting events in August at some point, and we obviously want to do it when it's right and everybody feels good about it.
Right.
And also we want to be able to provide beverage service, which we don't really feel like we can do that right now.
Right. So are you going to post on the website or on the Facebook page once you have some kind of a calendar or a schedule together?
Yeah, I mean, hit me up in I don't know how.
In the near future.
In the near future, and I mean, it's looking like July before we're going to start scheduling stuff for August.
Right.
If this.
Well, you have to stand in the aisles too, so it's kind of socially distanced.
Yeah.
You can't really stand shoulder to shoulder. So I love that. All right, well. Quinn's a busy man, and I want to thank him for letting us do our first ever episode of The Drop. So hopefully you see this again next week, unless Quinn stops taking my phone calls. Before I let you go, what are we looking forward to that's coming out that's like and much anticipated?
Ooh, there's a lot of stuff that's been scheduled. I mean, probably the big kahuna is that Billie Eilish record. I mean, people have been waiting for that, and the single's great. That's a very mainstream record,
but hey,
but I mean, her art is great.
I know people. I know like drop dead metalheads that like her.
Oh yeah, those again. We were talking earlier about My Bloody Valentine. Love was a record that came out. Records didn't sound like that beforehand. Then a whole bunch of them sound like that afterwards. Same with her productions.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
really highly influential.
Yeah,
I mean that's good. All right, so we're looking for Billie Eilish, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool. Vinyl coming. All right, guys, we're going to let you go. Thank you for being here at Fox26 Ruben on all of the socials. How do they find you?
CactusMusicTX.com or the Google.
And I might be wearing a stylish hat next week. All right, guys, buy vinyl, play your music really loud, bug the neighbors. See you later.